Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a couple of weeks since you last saw me. I've been busy with work, but mainly also because I flagged in my last video that last weekend, last Sunday specifically, was Mother's Day here in the UK, so I was having mum and dad over to mine, and this week, the second week of me not being around, I was having my broadband replaced, so it just kind of felt like I possibly wasn't going to get this book review done until today, and it turned out that was the case. I've literally just finished reading the book. I've been busy throughout the week because of deadlines and everything, and my parents are actually away for the weekend. It's my for my mum's birthday weekend. It was her birthday yesterday. They're having a lovely time, and I'm plant sitting for them. But yeah, so I've got this Sunday just completely free on my own, and I'm just having a chill Sunday. As you can see, it's currently 11:15 and I'm just in very casual, I don't care kind of feeling situation today. So I've been busy working and such, and as mentioned, getting my broadband replaced finally. I should have done it so many years ago, but yeah, my previous provider was just taking the absolute mick with my broadband, and then contacted me to say that they were going to increase it by £5 a month, and I was like, no, you're not. So I decided to leave, and I had it put in on Friday, and oh my god, it is insane. It's so stupid, but I just feel like I've been stumbling around for years without glasses, and now all of a sudden I have glasses and I can see everything. It's crazy how fast I was streaming Netflix, and I downloaded a 40-hour audiobook on Audible within 10 seconds. Like, what the hell? In my previous broadband, just that download, so not having my TV on or anything whatsoever, that would have failed. And I was able to do that and watch Netflix in 10 seconds, and I've been watching ultra HD stuff on streaming, and it's just like, oh my god. It sounds stupid, I know, but yeah, I've just gone, because the area where I live, the cabling and such isn't that great, and it just happened at the end of my driveway is a point where my new provider had put in cabling about a year ago, and I was like, if I'm really angry at what is now my previous provider, and there's this new ultra fast cable literally at the end of my driveway, why don't I go for it? And I have, and I'm so happy I did. So yeah, it feels like I'm finally I'm finally in modern times when it comes to broadband, and it means that I don't have to take my laptop with me to my mum and dad's to be able to upload these videos anymore. It means that I can upload them whenever I like. So if I finish a book early, I don't have to wait until the Sunday to upload it, my review of it. I can do other videos and get them uploaded right away. I just feel like this is just kind of like opened up a load of stuff for me, and it means that I can work from home and not have to worry about being disconnected every 5 minutes. So yeah, it feels good. It feels very good at the moment. So yeah, I'm in a good state of mind. But anyway, my main reason to talk to you here, not just to go about how amazing my broadband is now, is to talk about The Murder Game by Tom Hindle. And now, as I said, this is a book that I only finished like about 15 odd minutes ago, so I have been like casually reading this for two reasons. One, as I said, I've been busy with work and everything, and two, I think subconsciously I was a bit afraid to read it. And what I mean by that is that I have had, for these first 12 books of the year that I announced that I was reading, I had a series of fictional crime books, and two of those three that I was having back to back were rubbish. I really didn't like them. One of them I had a DNF, and one of them I managed to get through, and it was nothing. I really didn't get along with it. So I think I was fearful, like, oh my god, here we go, another modern crime written book, and it's the third one in the row, and I'm like, please, I don't want it to be bad. I don't want it to be bad. Please don't let it be bad. So I think I was putting it off for as long as possible. But yeah, because I've had this weekend free, and as I said, with mum and dad away, I haven't had to rush to get it finished in order to film this review and then get out to a house to then go over to theirs and everything. I felt, yeah, just completely free to have the weekend to just sit and read. And I can confirm that I am very happy with this book. So yay, Tom Hindle, you broke the curse of the modern crime fiction books that I have been reading of late, that they've just been duds until this one. So what is the murder game about? That's the key question. So the murder game is about a murder mystery event that is happening at a place called Hamlet Hall. It's around Devon, just so that you know, for geographic wise throughout the world where it is based. And Hamlet Hall, yeah, they're holding this event, and various guests are coming to take part. So everyone who turns up are given a role, character, various information that they have on themselves, and it's up to obviously everyone to guess what's going on. There are actors there, there's staff there because they're getting a meal throughout and everything. And yeah, it's just basically an event that's happening there, and local people are the ones who have paid to take part in this event. The problem is that not too long into the evening, one of those guests is murdered, and they quickly realised that because of where they are and everything, the proximity to the local area and being gated off and stuff like that, it means that whoever did it is amongst those in the house, and so they have to figure out not only who the killer is in the story, but they also need to figure out who the killer is in real life. And various information is revealed throughout the course of the night. Now, what I love straight away is that at the beginning we had a series of chapters which explored the guests who were coming to Hamlet Hall, and literally like as they're about to leave their houses to go to Hamlet Hall. You then have a guest list, and then it begins 7 o'clock, and then you have a series of chapters, and then 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 and 2. And then finally we have a jump to a year later. So you have this very distinct structure where you've got this, the initial build up to understand who everyone is, and then you have it distinctly by hour. Loved that. Now, Tom, just so you're aware, this is his second novel, and it's the first novel of his that I have read. His previous novel is on the back here called A Fatal Crossing, and also at the back it says, "Did you love the murder game? Get ready for the new gripping novel by Tom Hindle called Murder on Lake Garda, coming spring 2024. So as far as I know, because obviously now we're in spring 2025, that one would be now, I would have thought, available in paperback, if not very, very soon. So as far as I know, he's only got 3 books out. I have got my phone charging over there, so I can't physically check to see if that is correct or if he has any other books. But from what I understand, that is the case. And Tom in the blurb on the back, and just so you know, that's Tom there. He hails from Yorkshire and now lives in Oxfordshire. He loves Agatha Christie and various other classic crime related stuff, and I have to say, you can feel that in this book. It feels like Agatha, the locked down single location and such, the various characters, the connections, the names even that he has used in this book. It just feels like Agatha. So it does feel, as you're reading it, like a love letter to Agatha. But here's where you get a little bit of an issue for me. It's nothing like really critical or anything. It's just that when you have that kind of love letter thing to an author, it's kind of easy to fall into things that they did, the things that they wrote and such. So, for example, there was clearly and I'll try to explain this without revealing, because obviously I don't want to spoil, but very clearly, like, a character, well, this could apply to multiple characters in this place, appearing to be something that they are not and such, and I'm thinking, oh, that's that by Agatha Christie, or that's that by Agatha Christie, so that means that that as we go along this book, this is going to be revealed and that is going to be revealed, and you get that predictability element to it. And unfortunately, I did predict some things, that did happen. Some things I didn't, so it's not a case of it happens across the board, but I didn't know if that predictable element was because of the way Tom wrote it, because I'm a fan of Agatha Christie so I know it, or is a combination of the two. But I'm not going to put Tom down for that, because what he has done, the way that he has constructed this story, is great. The way in which he brought in the stuff with the lighthouse, if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. I thought that was great. I really loved, especially the character Will, and how he told the story through Will, from Will's perspective of various things, and trying to understand and put pieces together. I absolutely loved that. So there were a multitude of things where he gets massive ticks, and then there are other things where he gets like minor crosses. But I want to emphasize the fact that those are minor. But I do also recognise that this is his second novel. And what I mean by that is that he's still early in his writing career. So if this is his second novel, I'm really intrigued to see what his first novel was like, and going forward with the rest of his career, that he has the space to fine-tune those various things. It says there's a quote right here at the bottom, and it says, "A new heir to Agatha Christie, classic crime for the 21st century." And I do kind of believe that, but I don't feel like he's quite there yet. I just want to see him push a little bit more and really fine-tune various elements, and I think that could really be true. There's just a few things. Like, I really loved at the beginning when we first meet Will. As I said, you've got these few short chapters at the beginning before 7 o'clock hits, where we met Will, we learned some things about his background, and his chapter is very atmospheric, especially when you learn about a certain event that happened when he was 7 years old. And I really loved that. That was a really great opener for Will, and I thought that dark undertone would continue through, but it kind of faded, because it became more about the movements of people going from room to room, and who was where and who's lying, because obviously it's a murder mystery, and you didn't get that darkness come back in until right in the 2 o'clock section. But yeah, I just felt like I wanted to have that eerie undertone always there. I think that would have been better. Like, when I think about Agatha Christie, the undertone on things like Murder on the Orient Express, or Five Pigs that I read last year. That was it. Or was it right early this year? I can't remember. But I think it was last year. You have that constant eerie feeling. Or, even better example, And Then There Were None. As things are happening, and you have that psychological thing, you actually have pages where it's people's thoughts in their heads as they're watching each other across the room, but exactly, even though obviously there's no thing to say X thought, Y thought. You know exactly, because of what is being stated, exactly whose thoughts those are, and that is incredible. So yeah, I wish that darker undertone that from the moment we meet Will is constantly there, and it just dissipated. Yeah, it would have been nice like that. Overall, I thought, yeah, well constructed. It's a good, decent story, even though there were predictable elements. But as I said, I don't know if that's just because I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie and I could see certain things, or if it was just predictable. I'd have to look online to see what other people thought of that. I like the characters, especially Will. It was atmospheric, but at chosen points rather than a constant throughout. I really enjoyed it, and I have to say, I think it really has great promise. I think what would be really interesting is actually to see something like this one adapted. I don't know. As I said, I've gone and left my phone over there charging, so I can't look at my phone right now to see if there's been any rights for his works to be adapted at all. But I think this one would be quite interesting to see adapted if it were to happen. I think definitely playing with the past and the present and such, for the context of this book, I think that it works really well with the context of this story. And yeah, things that you think you know, you really don't know, and the various connections and such that go on throughout this book. It's great. Yeah, I can't think of much more to say about it, because it is that thing where they live in a tight-knit community where everyone knows everything about everyone. But do they really? That's the question. So overall, really enjoyable read. I just feel like if I had to rate it, I would probably give it about between a 3.5 and a 4. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that crime especially is a really tough genre, and especially if you're trying to do something like what he has done with this book and be a love letter to Agatha Christie, yet his own, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I think he did very, very well with what he did. I just wanted to have that extra, twisty, knifey kind of in the gut feeling undertone all the time, and it would have pushed up to a 4. Yeah, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't quite there. And it would be interesting to read his other books and see what his other stories are like. I gather because the first one is called A Fatal Crossing. I don't know if that's like a love letter towards things like Death on the Nile or what, or if it's completely different. I don't know. I wonder what Murder on Lake Garda is like as well. A destination wedding, a guest with a killer secret. Interesting. But what I do love and completely respect what Tom has done is that, as I said, love letter to like Agatha Christie, but he hasn't overemphasized. And what I mean by that, if we look at what I said in the Christmas Jigsaw Murders, how this author wrote at the very beginning that she'd written titles of Fleetwood Mac songs and various Charles Dickens. That was it. Also, Charles Dickens just completely fell out of my head then. Charles Dickens books and characters throughout. But the issue with that is that she did it too much and she overdid it. And it's like she was going, look, see how clever I am. Look how clever I am. Whereas Tom did it so subtly that it's like he went, okay, I'm doing that. But he made it his own, and that's the difference. That is what I wanted it to be like for the Christmas Jigsaw Murders with the Charles Dickens stuff. And Tom completely respects Agatha for everything that she did. That he's done homage to that but he has made it completely his own. And I really want to see, as he goes through his works, how that possibly changes over time, how his writing develops and such. I'm really intrigued to see where his career is going to go. So even though, like I said, you know, between 3.5 and 4, that sounds bad. It's not. It is for a person who is early in their crime writing career. That is really great, and onward and upwards. I wish him all the best of luck with his career, and I want to look into others of his books. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on The Murder Game. So it's time to ask my usual questions. Would I read this again? Yes, I definitely would. And now that I know the outcome, I'd quite like to reread it again and see the intricacies of what happened where and everything, and the lies and the twists and the turns and such that Tom wrote. Would I recommend this to anyone? Yes, I would. I think I would, yeah. And just you know, go with the flow of it, see what you think. I don't have like a thing of, oh well, if I've done previously, so if they liked this particular author, I'd say try this one. I just think in general, if somebody is interested in fictional crime, try Tom Hindle for measure, you know, and see how it goes. And would I read any more of Tom's works? Yes, definitely. I'm really wanting to have a look into his other books now. And after I finish this, I am going to look online at his other books and see what I can find. But yeah, for a murder mystery at New Year's Eve, is set in the 1920s. I forgot to mention that the party was at New Year's Eve, you know, going to the midnight of New Year, set in the 1920s. Very Agatha Christie. There we go. That was one of the subtle nods to her. It was really enjoyable, and yeah, I liked it. So there we go. So those are my thoughts on The Murder Game. If you read this book, I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and tag you you decide. And I'll be back with my thoughts on my next read, number 11 of the year. We're nearly there. And it's Legally Blonde by Amanda Brown. So let's see how this goes. And you never know, you might get an earlier review, because now my broadband's great. I can upload whenever I like. But I don't know, maybe I'll stick to Sundays, because Sundays is a nice end of the week kind of time. I don't know, we'll see how things go. But anyway, I will be back with my thoughts on this as soon as I'm done. All right then, everyone, bye.